I'm Patrick Lancaster, and the Iran-Israel war is heating up constantly. There is footage coming out showing areas of Israel looking like Gaza. There is so-called proof that the United States is involved in the combat between Israel and Iran, of course, against Iran. And there is also evidence that possibly China and Germany might be sending military to the location now, to the area. Are they going to get involved? And also, U.S. consulates in the Middle East are under attack by attack drones. We're going to talk about this and much, much more. Let's get into it. The Pentagon has convened a meeting to discuss Israel's request for the United States to take part in the fighting against Iran. But at the same time, supposed proof of U.S. involvement has already been coming out in the form of these photos. This is reportedly an RIM-161 and SM-3 SAM that were reportedly launched from the U.S. Navy destroyer to intercept an Iranian ballistic missile. Now, if these pieces of evidence are really true and proof of the U.S. involvement, how much more is the U.S. going to get involved? How big is this going to develop? The Israeli health minister has reported that in the last 24 hours, there has been 12 deaths of civilians and 385 injured in these areas that are looking like Gaza at this point. The Chinese foreign minister has pointed out that these attacks by Israel on Iran's nuclear facilities are a very dangerous act. Well, we've seen there's already a supposed leak, or internal leak as they're calling it now. It's a very dangerous act and a violation of international standards. And at the same time, a supposed Chinese military Airbus transport plane has been tracked entering Iranian airspace, reportedly. Now, will China get involved on the side of Iran? And will Germany get involved on the side of Israel? The same tracking system has also tracked a German Airbus apparently headed to Israel. Now, are they bringing troops? Are they bringing supplies? Lethal aid? What? And Israel is continuing to release footage of their Air Force knocking out ballistic missile launchers and other radar systems to further, as they say it, make Iranians military blind, deaf, and dumb. Well, that's what they say, but we're continuing to see footage from Iran coming, showing the destruction that their military is doing. So we're going to keep showing you what's really happening here, or at least what information we can gather and put together for you. Never like doing this from afar, but sometimes it's needed. I can't go everywhere. And not only are their consulates supposedly under attack by attack drones, there are marches going on in Baghdad, pro-Iranian marches headed towards the U.S. embassy, supposedly and reportedly. Now, we can see escalations of this not just in the military to military or military to nuclear facilities, but there are also attacks of Iranian forces hitting Israeli ports, oil depots, and refineries, and Israel hitting the oil depot of Iran. And now Iran is releasing footage of supposed replicas of command posts, defensive posts, and launchers that they say they set up ahead of time. And in the first hour of Israeli attacks on Iran, these replicas were destroyed. Were they really replicas? I don't know. We're not there on the ground, but that's what Iran is saying. Iran's foreign minister has come out and said they have received communication from Washington saying the U.S. was not involved and will not be involved in Israeli attacks on Iran. But they say they don't believe those assurances from the U.S. And how is this going to affect the price of oil? There's already been a huge jump in the percentage of oil. Just in the first day, it was up 13%. Now there's speculation that it might go up to $300 a barrel. And does this include if Iran closes the Straits of Hormuz, which most of the oil that comes from the Middle East goes through this strait? How much is that going to affect the price of oil? Will Iran close these straits or not? I myself have gone through those straits when I was in the U.S. Navy, and they're not very wide, so they can easily be closed. And there are more and more images coming out of destruction of Iranian nuclear facilities and military bases. Here we see several buildings damaged on the territory of the uranium enrichment facility in Natanz, Iran, which is where the reported leak was. And we can also see the nuclear enrichment facility in Fordow and the heavy water plant in Iraq were not hit despite reports. Several buildings on the territory of the Isfahan Nuclear Technology Center were also damaged. We can see that here. And damage to one of the buildings at the IRGC Gahardi ballistic missile base near Tehran was hit. Now, not only is the information based on photos of downed missiles and things like that, and statements of U.S. possible involvement, but the Iranian foreign minister says that they have information of direct involvement of U.S. personnel in the fighting against Iran. And these attacks can be seen far and wide. Even in Lebanon, people are sitting, listening to a saxophone play and seeing the attacks on Israel. And the Israeli Defense Forces have called an evacuation of civilians living near weapons production facilities. The Iranian foreign minister has said they will sign a guarantee saying they will not have nuclear weapons, but they will not do it if it forbids them of not having a nuclear industry. So they're saying they won't have nuclear weapons, but they need nuclear power. Now, all this talk about Iran getting nuclear weapons or trying to build nuclear weapons. Now, the supreme leader supposedly suspended the nuclear weapon program in 2003. And in fact, just months ago, in March of 2025, the U.S. intelligence, specifically the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, said that the IC, intelligence community, continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and the supreme leader has not authorized the nuclear weapons program he suspended in 2003. Now, you watch her say it, not just my words.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program.
And this is continuing to escalate and broaden. The Yemen Houthis have said that they also launched hypersonic missiles into Israel, and particularly into Tel Aviv. We've got a little bit of a side conversation we have now. As many of you know, I'm not monetized on YouTube at all. Just put my reports up and rely on your donation. And also, as many of you know, I don't normally do sponsored videos or commercials or anything like that. Just I've never been approached by a company that I felt like I could really jump in with. I don't want to advertise video games like all these other YouTubers do, or VPNs or something like this. But I was approached by one company that I feel my viewers might get something out of. because investing in today's day and age is really something I think is necessary. Many of you who watch my reports, in country after country I've been to, we see war break out and the price of the currency just drops. Ukraine, Russia, many others. You know, it's just fluctuates so much. But one thing that keeps wealth kind of at a stable level, or even increases it over time, is gold. And with the price of gold being at an all-time high, and rumors of even gold missing from Fort Knox and the lack of an audit, seems that gold exploration is something that's really on the top of people's lists right now. And this is why I want to talk to you about Apowika Explorations, Inc. And they trade in the US market under the ticker OPWEF. And in the Canadian market, OPW.V. And they give potential investors the opportunity to invest in the heart of Quebec's mining country. They have their flagship gold exploration projects in the heart of Quebec Abitibi Gold Belt. And their next goal is to make the next significant discovery in one of the richest gold regions. Quebec's Abitibi Gold Belt has been consistently ranked as one of the world's top mining jurisdiction, renowned for its strategic location, being able to trade in the US market, infrastructure, rich mineral endowment, and more. This gold belt has produced 190 million ounces from over 120 different mines. Apowika's properties are strategically located just next door to the giants, the world's largest and biggest producers of gold. And with their two flagship properties, Bazooka and Arrowhead as they call it, producing impressive results in the past and employing a 20,000-meter drilling program, they are expecting to have quite the result for investors in the future. And their infrastructure with hydropower, road access, and more gives a cost-effective and sustainable exploration. And right now, with Apowika Explorations trading on the US market for 11 cents and comparable companies that sold in 2023 for $4.8 billion, that would have the price per share of Apowika at $1.22. So it's quite an upside if that's what plays out. And you can check out Apowika Explorations with the link in the description. All right, well, I hope you got something out of this. Something that I found interesting, that's why I'm bringing it to you. And let's continue on with as much information on the ground as we can. Let's get back to the report. Thanks for being here with us. Again, I hate doing reports from afar, so if you want me to go to Iran or Israel, or maybe go back showing the Russia-Ukraine war front line, which I'm going to do, but what do you want next to see? Comment below, let me know, and also, of course, as always, support my work with the link on the screen or in the description. We got a lot to come.